Does the real world seem unsatisfying?
It's boring, but it's part of my life.
Well, it's time to level up and reboot reality. Join Toxic Mike and Demonoid as they explore the ever-evolving world of virtual reality and everything it has to offer. Whether you're just starting out or you've been there from the beginning, Reboot Reality will introduce, educate, and guide you to the best in VR. Find it wherever you get podcasts, at toxicradio.net or on the free Toxic Radio app. Reboot Reality. Log in and get immersed. Planning your Saturday night can be a bit of a bitch.
Saturday night is the loneliest night in the week.
Well, it doesn't have to be. Load up Toxic Radio every Saturday night for the heavy metal happy hour with the one and only Fishman.
I know that, dude.
There will be interviews, ticket giveaways, a little bit of banter with Toxic Mike, and of course great metal from the 80s all the way through today. Starts at 7 p.m., runs until Fish says it's over.
Everyone get out!
Catch it only on Toxic Radio. Don't play it safe. Play it toxic. All sports talk shows are the same, right?
I am bothered by everything.
You gotta go back to football school.
The goal of this guy, it's just immeasurable.
Wrong. In a world filled with talking heads more interested in their own celebrity than actually knowing the sports world, it's hard to find the people who really care about sports first. Look no further. Wire to Wire has it all covered. These guys have the knowledge and the cred to back up their opinions. No hot takes to get attention, just straight up opinions. Know anyone else who correctly called the 2020 World Series and March Madness? How about 70% on the NFL and NCAA football last year? You don't. Bottom line, these guys know their shit. They aren't doing it for attention, they're doing it for passion. Wire to Wire, live every Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern, only on Toxic Radio and wherever you find podcasts.
Welcome to Wire Sports Podcast, Show 81. You should get your popcorn ready because T.O. is here.
T.O.
I'm your host, Gene Walzak, the NFL genius. To my right, I got the man, the myth, the legend, Uncle Shally.
GM Uncle Shally tonight.
GM Shally tonight.
GM Shally.
Coming back from us, fresh from his vacation, fresh from Jamaica, man. I got Kent State's own, Cleveland's own, Akron Wedding, College, Cottrell.
What's going on? I'm here to eat my crown of best GM on Wire to Wire.
That's a lie right there. That's a lie. I nailed like the first 5 picks for what teams are going to take, and you're going to call that. That's BS. I hate it. You are College, Cottrell.
Rookie of the year and the defensive rookie of the year, man.
You also had the biggest bust. You also had the biggest bust.
Hey, you took Tevin Jenkins. You took Tevin Jenkins.
Took Alex Leatherwood. All right, coming and live in the studio for a second straight week. Like, he was so good last week, we brought him back. He's going to help us do the draft. We got Big Head Bats, Ed Conrey. What's up, Ed?
Hey, happy to be back.
Look at that Duke, like, all over, bro.
My sister just threw up.
Hey, you threw some shade at it last week, so, had to represent a little bit tonight. Yeah, I came prepared. I did about 20 mock drafts, so I
feel like I did 20 mock drafts. Like I'm not kidding with you. Like, I've been doing these so much. We did them on Birds Deep for Eagles, just doing the Eagles part. I've done mock drafts for every team. We randomly selected. Shally did this. I think he cheated, but randomly selected where we're going in the draft, and we're getting right into it. We're doing the draft. We got the movie bracket, and we got the NBA playoffs.
Sent the video. Gene just made it and get the second pick.
I wanted the second pick, but I'll get into that later. I'll tell you why later. But with can you throw up the simulator? Select all the teams. We want every team select all, and we will get started. We are going to draft now. Caveat for everybody at home: caveat for everyone at home. We are doing this as if it's a one-round draft. That's it, just one round. We are doing this as if we are the GM of the team. We are not doing this based off what we think they're going to do. It's if we were running the show, this is what our pick would be. Just want to be clear. I don't want to, if this guy's not the first pick off the board, then that's not what we're doing. Do you have all teams selected? Yes? Okay.
And we don't know anybody else's pick.
And we don't. We didn't do any, it's just like the NFL draft. You kind of know who's going one, and then we got to follow up with that.
Kind of. I mean, it's a busy day in the war room for the one pick today.
All right,
So
I almost feel underprepared when I look across and I see all Bill's notes.
Bro, Bill did this last year too, scratching names out.
I mean, he has an entire portfolio.
Details. I got to get Jacksonville back on track.
You have a rap sheet on every guy.
I love it.
I'm ready to go.
All right, let's get started. Hit start. It'll be on the bottom, Mike. Enter draft. Okay, so on the clock is the Jacksonville Jaguars. And who drew the first pick? None other than Uncle Shally.
So we should go to the draft order. It's me.
It's Shally, Big Head Ed, NFL Genius, College Control.
So we're just going to rotate through picks.
Yep. And it won't be like a snake. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4. It equals out to each one of us having 8 picks. And I'm going to write mine down this year because Control's so bragging about his NFL GM ship.
There's no egos on this show.
No, none at all.
If you haven't noticed.
Bro, I was like, I did really good on the draft last year. Control's first response is, oh, yeah, you did. Is I did better. Like, what the hell shit bullshit is that?
Control literally responded. He goes, I just watched it. I did great.
These are the facts.
These are the facts. All right. You can hit start draft. And Jamie's ready. So, with the first pick, Ed.
First pick of the 2022 wire-to-wire mock draft. Jacksonville Jaguars are going to select Aiden Hutchinson.
You already messed it up.
It's way too low, bro.
No, it's select, and then you wait for the ding. Jesus.
Roger Goodell's fucking shit up in the booth.
Damn amateurs. So we're going with Aiden Hutchinson.
Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end, University of Michigan.
I am shocked.
Are we shocked?
4 hours ago, it wasn't him.
Shocked.
I'm just telling you.
So,
I was going to turn this draft on its ear right after the first pick.
So I want to comment on this. We won't comment on every single one, but I want to comment on this. I think it's the right pick. I think it's a great pick. I think the Jaguars should do this. Here's the point I've been making about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Make it real simple. I promise I won't take long. Their culture sucks. It's terrible. Every year they draft a talented player. They drafted Jalen Ramsey. They drafted Miles Jack. They drafted Leonard Fournette. They draft a ton of players in the top 10. What they need is a guy that's going to hold others accountable, a guy that's a leader. They need a culture changer. And if you're drafting edge rusher, the best culture changer would be, I don't think he's the most talented, but I think he's the best for their team and their fit.
I agree. I think he's a very good football player. You look at his numbers, through the combine, everything else. They are 1 or 2 in pretty much all category. He had the best 3-cone drill, which is pretty much the number everybody looks at for the edge rusher guys. He's a great athlete, very good skill, technique. But on top of that, he's going to bring the intangibles to a franchise that, like you said, really needs to turn around and kind of have an about face of the direction they're going. New coach this year, got rid of the guy that was, we won't talk about it too much. I don't want Control to get mad. But I mean, they got a fresh start this year, and this is the first step in that direction. So I think it's a great pick.
Awesome. So, Ed, you're on the clock for pick number 2. Doesn't look like your picture's here because Mike didn't figure that one out yet, and that's okay. We love Mike. But with this, you have the Detroit Lions.
The second pick of the 2022 wire-to-wire draft. The Detroit Lions take Georgia's own Trayvon Walker.
We're 0 for 2.
We're gonna go select, ding. It's like
Gene,
we're like amateurs.
I'm just kidding. We got to hold it down, Gene.
Trayvon Walker right there. Mine was really tough, okay? Travon Walker, so 33-second clip. Travon Walker, athleticism makes him this high of a pick, and he is a high risk, high reward. If I'm being honest, I feel like that's a bust of a pick because I feel like he 1 year started Georgia, and I just feel like the rest of that defense made him better. But that's my projection. That's my opinion. And that's okay. Houston Texans are on the clock. I really want to take the best player in the draft. I'm not doing that. It's funny. I talked about this last week, and I think Ed might have changed my mind. Thinking about it. Offensive linemen really don't care. They're just like going to go there and block people, and they're going to hit people, and they're going to punch people in the mouth. And the Houston Texans need everything. Just every position for needs, which is you'll never see that anywhere. That's insane. With the third pick in the wire-to-wire draft, the Houston Texans select Ike Ekwonu from NC State. Up a little, well, not that low. Jesus, not George Pinkins.
I think he's arguably the most athletic lineman in the entire draft.
Right there, Ike Ekwonu. You were like right there.
I think he's a great pick, safe pick. He's going to protect the quarterback, whoever it is, this year. It's for 4 years you have a building block that you can kind of bring in linemen to build around. He's athletic enough to play probably both sides of the line, depending on the personnel they have. So I think it's a good fit for the Texans who need everybody.
And I think the thing with them is it's going to be good for their run game because he's a great zone run tackle. He's going to be able to block downfield. It's good for the pass game. It's good for a scrambling quarterback. It's good for a non-scrambling quarterback. There's another offensive lineman, we'll always get to him, that is perfect. Probably the prototype for a passing quarterback. And we'll obviously get to him sooner or later. But the Texans were who we were picking for. Cottrell, you have a very, very tough task of fixing the New York Jets.
I do. So we had two guys on our board here who we thought were going to be here. Both of them are still on the board here. But we're going to go with the guy who we think that is going to be the best defensive back in this draft. So with the fourth pick in the 2022 wire-to-wire draft, the New York Jets select Eric Stingley, cornerback, LSU.
Eric, he was the top one on the board. I love you. He wrote Eric. I love Mike. You just look, it's got a little projection. Just hit draft. There you go. You the man. All right. Shally, you're back on the clock. Derek Stingley Jr. will not be the best defensive back in this draft, by the way. Just comment. Noted.
That's just an opinion that you have. That's all right.
Everyone does. I'm just kidding, obviously. I'm going to make my opinions bold, as I always do.
Hey, just know that I probably just drafted the defensive rookie of the year just because of my pedigree, Well,
you could do it at pick 8, too. It doesn't have to be a pick 4.
All right.
Uncle Shally's deep in thought right now.
We're good.
Turning pages and shit.
The New York Giants with number 5 overall pick in the 2022 wire-to-wire draft select Evan Neal, offensive tackle, Alabama.
That's the draft right there. That's the pick right there for them. It's 100% the right pick. Daniel Jones is a pocket quarterback. I mean, he does have legs, but he's a pocket quarterback, and he needs to be protected if you want to see if he has any future in the NFL.
I think their first need is definitely offensive tackle. I can't see them going any other direction with the 5 pick in the draft, unless I think Neal and Ekwonu are both off the board, which I don't think is going to happen. So,
you think they reach for another offensive lineman if either one of them are off the board?
I think Cross is a mistake at 5, if that's what you mean.
I didn't want to say names.
Yeah.
I don't want to give people ideas, guys. I have a board.
I think Cross is a reach at 5.
Okay.
If that's really what they want to do, I would pick somebody else at 5 and see maybe if they can trade back at 7. But I think him at 5 is a mistake.
Well, Ed, you're back on the clock. You have the Carolina Panthers.
I do, don't I? So this was actually I was more concerned about this pick because of the 3 in between. And I think it was going to come down to one of two players. One was going to be an offensive lineman, if it was the first or second offensive lineman that's available.
Okay.
And if that wasn't, I made up my mind that I'm going to go with a quarterback.
Whoa!
I'm going to go with a quarterback.
Hold on. Just you got to give him the
2022 Carolina Panthers draft.
Select.
Malik Willis.
Wow. I think it's just too. Yeah, I mean Malik Willis, MAL. You're right. You had it right. He's just a little bit lower on the list, right there. Rank 30, but he's projected to go 6th right now. They love him. It's gonna be one of two quarterbacks. I agree with you. I just don't know if I do that. I'm not high on him, but I get it.
I'm not high on him either. But again, as the GM of the Carolina Panthers, who have a need for quarterback,
Makes sense.
this is a reach. But if you're going to take a quarterback this year, they're all a reach. And I think that you got to go with basically the best athlete, the guy that's basically tested the best with arm strength, throwing the ball to different routes. He's done really, really well in certain workouts. And, this is the guy I think that they're going to probably, that I would go with if I'm in the GM spot at 6.
Okay. So we're at the 7th pick, New York Giants. I'm on the clock. Offensive line was already addressed. Edge rusher, linebacker is listed as their other 2 needs. But, sometimes when you're in a draft, especially when you're picking 7th, you have to take the best player available. And with the 7th pick, the New York Giants select safety out of Notre Dame, Kyle Hamilton.
You want to pick him so bad somewhere.
Of course I do. I don't want him to play for the Giants, though. I hope he doesn't go there.
I really hope he doesn't go there.
Me too.
This is, in my opinion, Control has the easiest job of the whole draft right here. I mean, he gets to go with a hometown guy in a position of need. I'm going to shut up. Control, you have the Atlanta Falcons.
No. Well, we're gonna go with the guy who has arguably the most talent left available. With the 8th pick in the 2022 wire-to-wire draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Kayvon Thibodeau, edge from Oregon. This is a guy who's going to, especially if they're thinking about trading Grady Jarrett, this is a guy that's going to get after the quarterback for him. The tough choice there would have been thinking about going corner, but they already got A.J. Terrell, and you don't draft your number 2 corner at pick number 8 when you got a guy like a talent like Kayvon Thibodeau still on the board. So going with Thibodeau to anchor that Atlanta defensive line.
I'll just say the GM over here, Gene Walzak, the GM, did not want a guy that doesn't love football in the first 10 picks, and I feel like Kayvon Thibodeau doesn't love football. I'm not trying to be smart when I say this, but draft day just goes in my mind. I feel like the people didn't go to his birthday party. You know what I mean? I feel that.
Atlanta, as the GM in Atlanta, we feel as if we have the right coaches in place to get him to the spot that he needs to be in to be productive on the field and love the game as much as we love it.
Oh, that was a very GM answer.
Wow,
I love it.
GM answer.
I love
That's
it.
the public. That's literally the public tagline right there. It looks like you rehearsed that.
That was great. Awesome job.
On the way here, this guy came up. Shally, you know, Ron Coleman plays on my softball team, and
Yes, big fan of Ronnie.
He made the Jadeveon Clowney comparison.
That's what he is.
I made that too.
Yeah,
We all did. We all
That's what he is.
So hopefully he doesn't take plays off for you, Control.
That
Good
guy
luck.
has been doing control damage ever since he did that ESPN interview. Where
But-
he's like,
but-
I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. And he literally talked for 3 minutes and never mentioned about being I want to be all pro and be in the Hall of Fame. He wants to do a million things but football.
I know it's not the same sport, but I do have to fall on my sword here because the last player I did say this about, I was very confident that he would not be great. I was wrong about. And it's in the NBA, Anthony Edwards. So if he projects like Anthony Edwards did, because I remember Anthony Edwards, is he really into it? But, Cottrell's nailed it last year. Defensive Player of the Year, he got Michael Parsons. Does Kayvon Thibodeau be the the defensive player of the year this year? Could.
Or he could be the next Brian Bosworth.
I don't think he could be Boz. I don't think he could be that bad. He's too talented. Shally, you have the Seattle Seahawks.
With the number 9 overall pick, Seattle Seahawks select Mr. Ahmad Sauce Gardner, cornerback from Cincinnati.
I already had that written down, bro. I knew exactly where you were going there.
I was actually hoping somebody else was here,
Right
but
there.
he was already drafted. Probably the most physical corner in the draft. They need to rebuild that defense. He's a great cornerstone to start with. I think if he falls to them at number 9, they will be ecstatic.
You know a stat about him? That's wild. His entire college career, he didn't allow a touchdown. That is a wild stat. Nick Saban came out and said that they threw away from him intentionally.
Yeah.
It's part of the game plan. And they had the Maxwell Award winner on the other side with Kobe Bryant. So it's high praise. Ed, you're on the screen. You have a picture. Like, you're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, I get a picture. So I think with the 10th pick, the New York Jets are going to select tackle, Mississippi State, Charles Cross.
Right in front of you. This is the top dog on the list.
We need a guy that can protect the quarterback. The quarterback's on the ground basically most of the game. They need a lineman. They've needed linemen for the last 3 years. You know, I think that if you're GM of the New York Jets, you got to address this. You know, you got to protect the passer. This guy is prototypical tackle, good size. He's a little bit of a work in progress. They need to get with him and teach him about technique. He struggles with stunts and stuff like that. But I think that in terms of size, strength, I think he's the solid pick, the safe pick at 10.
I mean, he's a mean. Yeah, one of the things is he's just mean, and that's something I want out of an offensive lineman. So I'm up next. I have the Washington Commanders. I'm gonna screw that up this week. And this is a tougher pick. I'm gonna go a little bit off the grain. I'm not going by the board. I'm gonna mix some things up. But they need a signal caller. They need a center. They need a center. So with the 11th overall pick, the Washington Commanders select Tyler Linderbaum out of Iowa. There you go. That's a guy who can start for you for the next 10 years and control the middle of your line. And I think that he'll be great at calling out blitzes. And I think that Carson Wentz gets his Jason Kelsey.
He's possibly the safest pick in this draft.
Oh, that's why GM Gene went with him, obviously. I'm just kidding. Cantrell, you're back on the clock.
Funny that you went with him there because I was definitely going to take him here at 12. But we got somebody else on our board that we do like. The Vikings are a tough team to kind of gauge because they have many holes in their defense. I feel as if at 12, though, I don't have a corner that I'm absolutely comfortable taking there. So we're going to get a defensive piece, but it's going to be on that defensive line. So with the 12th pick, 2022 wire-to-wire draft, the Minnesota Vikings select George Karlaftis, edge from Purdue. This is a guy who's, I don't know why, but he's been falling down some draft boards. But I think you put him in the right system, especially on the opposite side of a guy like Daniil Hunter. He's going to be very productive for you. High motor kind of guy, and he actually has some pass rush moves. He is a little bit of a work in progress, but I think Minnesota would be the perfect spot for him to learn behind a guy like Hunter.
Okay.
That's the shock of the draft so far.
Karlaftis is a high motor guy. I think he projects at a ceiling of Joey Bosa, in my opinion. But I just don't see anything special about him. I think that his floor is a lot lower than the other edge rushers in the draft. I think the high motor thing always helps you. I don't think he's special. Just my opinion.
High motor guy went number 1 overall.
You're right. It's a very fair point. So we're on the Houston Texans again, and
two completely different types of athletes.
Shallcross, Uncle Shally's back on the clock. GM Shally's got the. Hey, you basically have your pick of the litter here.
I do. I was glad you addressed one of our needs earlier, which made this pick a little bit easier for me. So with the number 13 overall pick, or second pick of the first round for the Houston Texans, they select Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, Ohio State. They're rebuilding the offense. We already got the tackle. Brandon Cooks had a kind of a resurgent year last year if you keep him healthy. He's put up numbers there. Nico Collins is already there, but they really don't have any other weapons on offense. I'm going to get Mills a wide receiver that can run every round in the tree. Great hands, can go across the middle. Great speed, smart player. Instantly upgrades the offense for the Houston Texans.
Sounds like a plan. Ed, you're on the clock with the Baltimore Ravens. I hope you don't rip my heart out because I'm next with our Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm probably not.
Okay, good.
I'm probably not. I thought about this pick probably a lot more than I did the picks after this for the teams that I have to select for, because I could go in 4 different directions, and I don't think that I'm going to be wrong. But I want to address, again, the reason I selected the 10 guys on offense and defense last week is because of a philosophy I have about modern football. So with that in mind, sticking to that, for the 14th pick, 2022 wire-to-wire draft, the Baltimore Ravens select offensive tackle Trevor Penning.
Okay.
I love that
Northern
pick.
Iowa kid.
Yeah.
It makes it very easy for me. I've been very high on this guy. I wanted him to fall to the Philadelphia Eagles. I would love him to be a Philadelphia Eagle. It'll be a reach, and that's fine. That's what I'm doing. And if I'm the GM of the Philadelphia Eagles, look, number one need for the Philadelphia Eagles. It says linebacker. I feel like you know where I'm going.
I do.
This guy is a leader, and he's going to make every single person around him better. He will be your signal caller on defense. He will be your Malcolm Jenkins for the Philadelphia Eagles in the sense that he will control that defense and where people will go. With the 15th pick in the wire-to-wire draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select linebacker Nakobe Dean out of Georgia.
Eagles just got Ray Lewis.
Listen, I'll make it very clear. That joke will continue to live on as long as you want. I don't think he'll be as good of a career as Ray Lewis, but the comparisons are so similar. You're talking about a great linebacker on a great college team, a leader, undersized, 6 foot 225 coming out for Nakobe Dean, 6 foot 235 coming out for Ray Lewis. His instincts, the most important thing, his best intangible, his best attribute is his brain. And for a linebacker, you have to understand what the offense is doing. And if he's your defensive signal caller, 15 first round, I'm happy with it.
To make it clear, I love the pick there. I think he's the best linebacker in the draft. That's just Ray Lewis thing's just me and our ongoing joke here.
That's fine.
At 16, at 16, Saints have a lot of offensive needs. We're going to address one of them right here. With the 16th pick, 2022 wire-to-wire draft, New Orleans Saints select Chris Olave, Ohio State receiver.
I would have bet the other way.
You're gonna pair him up with Michael Thomas, and there's just another Buckeye there. New Orleans loves their Buckeyes, and this is just another one added to the bunch.
Slant boy.
I would have bet the other way. I really would have.
What do you mean?
I thought he was going to go the other guy.
Who?
We can't say it. He's not drafted.
Well,
I don't give away. I thought he was going the other guy. Shall, you're back on the clock.
I'm back on the clock. Where are we? Number 17, Los Angeles Chargers.
I love how they list team need as wide receiver.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It's not accurate.
No.
They took Josh Palmer in the third. They have Mike Williams. They have Keenan Allen. Why would that be a team need?
I'm not going any of those positions. Number 17 overall, the Los Angeles Chargers will select from Georgia, defensive tackle Jordan Davis.
I love this pick.
He's been linked to this team pretty much throughout the entire process. I think it's a great pick. Have him playing on that line with Bosa. They were terrible against the run last year defensively.
And he would immediately make that better.
It's an immediate upgrade. He's going to step in. I think they got to get him in a little bit better shape so they can keep him on the field a little bit longer. But I think Jordan Davis has every opportunity in the world to become a high-impact player next year. So I think the Chargers will be getting a very, very good player and a good piece to their defense.
The thing with that pick, though, is that they just got Khalil Mack. So you got Khalil, you got Joey, and now you're going to have Jordan Davis. Like, what are offensive lines going to do against that defense up front?
No idea. And they have a good secondary, so it's I think it's a great building pick for them.
Here's the fun part. Ed gets the second Eagles pick. I'm really interested where he goes.
Looks like he's torn over there.
I don't think so. I think he knows.
This is a bucket list moment for me. Like, if I could quit my job tomorrow, right?
GM of the Eagles.
To be the GM of the Eagles, like, I would. Everybody knows this.
I think everybody would quit their job.
I would definitely quit. I would tell both of my clients I'm done and walk out, and it would be really easy.
Easy.
This is easy. I had a variety of different directions. There's a couple of different needs, but one of the things that I absolutely have been gutted, almost sick to my stomach with over the last couple of years is drafting wide receivers. But I'm going to say this. With the 2022 wire-to-wire pick, the Eagles at the number 18 spot are going to select the right wide receiver and Treylon Burks.
I love the guy. TRE.
We need a guy that can fly and has size. We keep drafting these like little puppies that
you basically get the DK Metcalf pick all over.
He's not DK Metcalf though.
Like, we got to stop that. He's a 4.5 guy.
Man. He's a 4.5 guy, and he's not built like DK. He's nowhere near the size of DK.
Guys, Treylon Burks is an animal, and he will be a great pick for the Eagles.
Yeah.
Linebacker. Well, since we're both the GM of the Eagles today,
yep,
we got a linebacker and a wide receiver.
Listen, I hope that's what we come out with.
The right wide receiver.
We'll see.
You come out with Nakobe Dean and Treylon Burks, are you happy?
I'm not unhappy. I just think we're reaching on both. That's all.
That's fair. I don't care what the projections say, though. If you
the
get
whole
good
draft
players.
is a reach.
I think they both have high upside, and I think they both have they both have a lot of work to do.
I'm gonna give this one away really easy. This is exactly what I do here. I think it's a perfect situation, perfect spot for this person. I think he's the best quarterback in the country. Dante, I hope you're listening.
Oh, man.
Wow.
With the 19th pick, the New Orleans Saints select Matt Corral. Matt Corral, quarterback, Ole Miss.
I'm not even crossing him off because he's like way back in my book.
It's fair. I think that going from Ole Miss to Louisiana is not a stretch. He's right in his backyard. I think that Saints team needs a quarterback really bad. I think that Jameis Winston being there doesn't force him into starting right away. I think he's got all the arm, the intangibles, and the legs to be a quarterback in this league. And I think Matt Corral is the best quarterback in this draft.
If they're not competing in that division, he'll start by game 8, game 9.
Yeah, I agree.
And they'll see what they have by the end of the season.
Agreed.
Definitely shocked me there. But it seems like there's about to be a run on quarterbacks here. So with the 20th pick, wire-to-wire draft, Pittsburgh Steelers select. We're keeping them home. Kenny Pickett, quarterback from Pitt. This is another team obviously needs a quarterback, and you can get a guy like Kenny Pickett to just fall in your lap. You take him. Yeah, he's going to be a little bit of a project here, but you don't have to start him right away. You got Mitch Trubisky there. Not saying he's a world beater, but you're not forced to start Kenny right away. So you give him a year, learn the system, learn some things with Mike Tomlin, and he'll hopefully be ready to go for you the following season.
I love it, Kishore. I think that Pittsburgh quarterback stays home in Pittsburgh, and the Ole Miss quarterback just goes right across the state lines To Louisiana, to New Orleans.
And I think he's competing with Trubisky, in camp.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
100%. With the accident that happened, down in South Florida, that was really, really unfortunate. I like the pick, Trell. I really do, because it addresses a need that's really not talked about, out of respect for, the situation that happened less than a couple weeks ago. But I definitely think that there is with Big Ben gone, there is a lot, there's big shoes to fill, and bringing a guy in that's a proven quarterback, at the collegiate level for a couple of different years. I think that's you're not going to lose your job as GM.
I will say this, and I just want to make this point because it's very, very, very pertinent. Northern quarterbacks that play for northern teams, cold weather teams. This is almost perfect. Aaron Rodgers went to Cal. He is an outlier. That does not happen very often. Josh Allen, Wyoming. Tom Brady, Michigan. You have to be it's very tough to go from a warm weather town, warm weather college, warm weather high school, and be a cold weather quarterback. It's just different throwing the football. Kenny Pickett already has that Pittsburgh cold weather energy understood in him. If you go back and look at some of the teams in the NFL, teams really do not succeed in drafting quarterbacks from down south to play in the cold. It just doesn't happen. There's so many busts. So I think
the only two that come to mind is Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
It's
like Green Bay.
There's a few like for instance, like you could make an argument that Matt Stafford coming from Georgia to Detroit, but Detroit plays 8 games in a dome. So like the arguments are there, but there's not many.
Yeah, fair point.
It's actually 10 games because you're playing Minnesota twice a year.
Correct. Okay, so Shally, you're on the clock.
Number 21, the New England Patriots. The 2022 wire-to-wire mock draft. Select middle linebacker Devin Lloyd, University of Utah. I thought there was two perfect people to go to this team for their needs. And I think Belichick he gets his hands on either one of them. I think he turns them into absolute studs. Devin Lloyd's one of them. Jacoby Dean's the other. I think if they go that route, the way he coaches defense and the way he teaches kids up, I think they both become monsters if they fall within that New England system. Devin Lloyd's athletic. He's fast. He's a little bit bigger than Dean. I think he's a perfect fit to run that defense. He can get sideline to sideline quickly. Not bad in pass coverage. I think he will have a great rookie year in New England.
Bold prediction, by the way. And by the way, it's a great pick. I think Bill Belichick's the perfect coordinator for Devin Lloyd. Bold prediction, by the way. I think this pick gets traded on draft night back to the team it came from. Just being clear, the next pick, the Green Bay Packers are up. Ed has them. I just want to say it out loud. I think this pick gets traded on draft night back to Las Vegas. I think Darren Waller will be a Green Bay Packer by the end of draft night. Just want to mark that down. Ed, you're up.
Yeah, the rumors are circulating that could happen, but unfortunately for Ed, there's no trades. So I got to make a pick. And if that doesn't happen, or there's other suitors for Darren Waller, which there are, and they are crunched with salary cap, with Aaron Rodgers getting a lot of money, I think that they have to address the vacancy that Devontae Adams left. I think they're going to and I'll just go on the record and say with the 22nd pick of the Wire to Wire 2022 draft, the Green Bay Packers select Johan Dotson out of Penn State.
Jahan Dotson. J-O-H. I love me some Jahan Dotson. I love me some Jahan. J-A-H. Yep. J-A-H. There you go. Yep, you got it.
Jahan Dotson.
Love it. Love that pick.
You got to fill those shoes.
Do me a favor, Mike. Scroll down a little bit on the right side. I just want to see something. I'm so shocked that a couple of these guys are still here. That's why I'm a little bit more. There he is. Okay.
And
yeah.
Gene, I think you have to look at Aaron Rodgers' career projections. Like, you can't wait. Like I love Williams. I love Williams right here because in terms of projection ability, the guy could be an absolute monster in the NFL. However, you need to keep Aaron Rodgers, who has proven time and time again, especially throwing footballs at children in camps, that the guy, wants to compete and win now. You got to get him a guy that he can throw the football to now.
Yeah, no, say less. So this for the Arizona Cardinals, they have a lot of needs, and this need is to me the most pressing. It's protecting your quarterback, and I think that Kyler Murray, if he's there, I predict he wouldn't be there come start of the season, but if he's there, you have to go here. You got to protect him. So with the 23rd, just scroll down a little bit. I want to show you. It was right there on the page. A little bit more. A little bit more. There he is. From Boston College, guard, the Arizona Cardinals select Zion Johnson from Boston College.
Love this. Love the pick. You might get GM of the year by going here. You're looking at a 10-year guard.
I agree. And then guards really don't go in the first round very often.
He can.
I love that.
Yeah, he can. He's that good.
I love that. I absolutely love that pick there. I loved it so much that's another one who I was very much considering taking here at 24. But if the interior O lineman that we wanted isn't there, we're not going to reach for him. So instead, what are we going to do? We're going to fill a void that was just placed on our team. So with the 24th pick, 2022 Wire to Wire NFL Draft, Dallas Cowboys select Drake London, wide receiver, USC. He's going to take the place of Amari Cooper, and he is going to be another weapon for Dak Prescott.
Freaking hate that.
I wouldn't mind it.
Take him.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. CD and Mike Evans come at us. That'll be fun.
You can have all the wide receivers in the world. If you can't throw it to them, it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, it's the same boat we're in, so.
He who sucks less will prevail.
I think that this next team,
Jalen.
you're the GM, but I'm going to say this now. I disagree with this team's number one need. I disagree with it. I don't think it's a need. I think they're poised for a couple breakouts at that position. I don't want to give anything away, but I think that if I was this team, I'd be going in a different direction than what their number one need is.
I'm not going there for number one need. It's very tempting with certain people sitting on the board right now. I feel like if we get to this point in the draft and there's certain people on the board, I could see somebody coming up to get a certain somebody right now.
I agree. I agree with you 100%.
But like Ed said, we're not allowed to trade here. So, this is tough now. It's between three people. All right. With the number 25 overall pick, the Buffalo Bills select I'm going with Trent McDuffie, cornerback, Washington. Pair him up with White. You already have two great safeties. To Gene's point, I don't think they have to go offense here. I really don't. You already have Diggs. You're gonna have Gabriel coming back as well. I think they have offensive weapons. I think if they go offense, they go running back, if anything. But even with the way that last year ended, I don't know if they go there either. I think they go defense. I think they take one of the best players available on the board. It could easily be somebody, be a position of need, and it could easily be somebody that starts next year for them. So McDuffie's kind of been described as maybe not the highlight guy, but maybe the most solid. He's probably the best tackler out of the three guys that have been taken already on the outside. I just think it's a solid, safe pick for them.
I agree with you. Ed, you're on the clock.
With the 26th pick, the Tennessee Titans select Jameson Williams.
There's no chance that Kansas City allows this to happen.
Agreed.
They're going to trade up and get him.
Agreed.
If that happens.
I can't trade.
I
I
understand.
can't trade. I'm limited here.
I understand.
But I think that with a lot of the A.J. Brown talk, I think you got to hedge your bet.
I follow you.
You got to hedge your bet.
You made it really easy for me because I was between one of two, and I don't care if it's not listed as a need. I was going to fill the void of Antonio Brown with Brady's, coming back, and then you have Chris Godwin, who probably won't start the season, coming off an ACL tear. So you made it really easy for me. Listen, new coach there, Coach Todd Bowles, with the 27th pick in the wire-to-wire draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Devontae Wyatt. And I did that twice now. Devontae Wyatt at Georgia. I got to stop doing that. I'm telling people not to do it, I do it. Top guy. He's the top guy. He was the...
You got him.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so at 28, we've already addressed the need at receiver. Probably wouldn't have want Jahan Dotson there, given who was on the board, but that's fine. We got Aaron Rodgers a weapon. Now we're going to give him a little bit more protection. So with the 28th pick, 2022 wire-to-wire draft, Green Bay Packers select Bernard Raymond, tackle, Central Michigan. This guy who's going to be playing right tackle, opposite of David Bakhtiari, and you're going to have some more protection for the big bad man there, Aaron Rodgers. So
Bill and Ed have the task of taking the Kansas City Chiefs 2 first-round draft picks, 29 and 30. So Bill can make this really tough on Ed.
Oh, and I'm going to take the elephant in the room here. With the number 29th overall pick, the Kansas City Chiefs select Jermaine Johnson, defensive end, Florida State University. They have needs all over the defense, defensive line, cornerback. That Honey Badger's gone. Frank Clark is aging. For him to fall down this far, him just to fall into their laps would be kind of insane. I think we've talked about Kansas City already. If Jameson falls down to that 20 area, I think you definitely see them trading one of the two of these picks to get up there and get them. Because I think there's teams in front of them that don't need wide receivers. But again, we're going based upon what's left. I think Jermaine Johnson at 29 is crazy. I don't know how you pass on him. Very athletic guy. Very versatile. Could probably play outside. Could probably play outside linebacker in a 3-4, or he could play DN in a 4-3. So versatile, very athletic. Not bad technique either, and he needs to clean up a little thing. He's not super good with his hands. Doesn't have super long arms, but all the scouts love him. I think he has the potential to be an impact player. So I think it crosses one need off the board for the Chiefs in the first round.
Okay, Ed, you're on the clock for the Chiefs.
With the 30th pick of the wire-to-wire 2022 draft, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to select running back Breece Hall.
Whoa. Really? That's interesting. I wouldn't have went there.
giving up on CEH.
They just drafted him in the first round 2 years ago. Okay. So I disagree with the Bengals' needs. They just spent like $100 million on repairing their line for Joe Burrow. Maybe this is old, but I have the Cincinnati Bengals on my last pick. I think this is actually pretty easy. So with the 31st pick, the Super Bowl runner-up, Cincinnati Bengals, select Andrew Booth Jr., cornerback out of Clemson.
All right. Well, last pick of the first round here. Got some guys who we weren't expecting to be here, but we're gonna go with a need for us. So with the 32nd pick of the 2022 wire-to-wire draft, the Detroit Lions select Sam Howell, quarterback, North Carolina. I think if you have a quarterback just sitting there for you, depending on what your grade is, got to take them, and you get good value. You don't have to move anywhere. You don't have to trade up to get a quarterback, and you get arguably the top 3 quarterback in this year's draft.
So just looking at this real quick before we head to the movie bracket, because that's where we're headed next. Just looking at this, what's the biggest surprise and what pick do you most disagree with? And we'll go to everybody and then we'll move on.
I don't think there's any shot in hell 4 quarterbacks go in the first round. I think Matt Corral to me is the biggest reach out of anybody that was taken. It was probably Burks before that, but again, I'll be a little bit selfish there. I'm not going to be upset if he ends up being a Philadelphia Eagle, so I'm not going to get too drastic on that. Corral stands out to me big time. Everybody else, I think, we've seen. I think Stingley's projected lower on some things, but again, I mean, I don't think you can go, really argue him going before Gardner. I don't think that's the end of the world. That's about it. I think Corral sticks out to me big time.
How about you, Cottrell?
Biggest thing that sticks out to me is Jahan Dotson, especially when you see Drake London and Jamison Williams went after him. I think Jahan Dotson is the 5th best receiver in this class. I'm okay with him going in the first round just as long as he goes after the other 2. And I think with the Packers, I feel like they would be more inclined to go after one of a bigger receiver just to be a bigger target for Aaron Rodgers. So that's the one for me that stands out.
That was my first thought when he went. I think he's great. I think he has the ability to be a superstar, but at the same time, what he does well, it's not necessarily filling the Devontae Adams role at that point. I think they, again, kind of Cottrell's point, I think I would have expected Jameis there in London to kind of be the bigger Devontae Adams role there.
Although I agree with Ed, though. I don't think that they're going to take Jamison Williams coming off an ACL with Aaron Rodgers having basically 2 years left.
I mean, he's going to play next year, so I mean, it's not.
Is he?
Yeah. I don't see why.
Get acclimated to the NFL system. Maybe it's not easy just to say he's going to walk in and play in Green Bay.
Yeah, and you don't know if Rodgers is leaving in 2 years either. But I get it. I get the thinking.
But he keeps threatening he will.
Yeah, well, he's the hot girl. He's not the man. Told he's pretty all the time.
He's not the man of his word.
What stands out the most to you?
I think
real good?
I think not seeing Desmond Ridder go in the first round, I think other quarterbacks going ahead of him was surprising.
I think Desmond Ridder stinks. I think he stinks.
Gene is not like Desmond Ridder.
He stinks.
I agree with you. I just think that it's surprising that the guys that are rated below him went ahead of him in this draft.
I said ratings are you can go to the only thing clear about ratings right now is they have Malik Willis ranked 1. After that, it's a hosh-posh of Matt Corral, Kenny Pickett, Sam Howell, and Desmond Ridder. You can literally just jumble them up in a pot and pick one out, and that's my surprise would be the Atlanta Falcons going Kayvon Thibodeau. They need a wide receiver bad, and they have their pick of the litter. So that would be my surprise there. I think the pick that got the ultimate best value would be, that's not mine, would be Devin Lloyd going to 21 to a perfect situation for him. All right, let's go to movie bracket, guys. That was a great first round pick. We'll see how it goes tomorrow night. I can't wait. We'll be posting about the draft and kind of giving a lot of our insight there. So we got the movie bracket. We got 4 of us here. Sweet 16. If the 2-2 tie, it will go to a Facebook vote. I don't expect the first one to be a tie, ladies and gentlemen.
Never know, man. Cottrell's the wild card. Picking crazy movies, this whole damn thing.
I'll go first on this one, and then we'll keep it in rotation. So I'll go first, and then actually, you know what? Let's do it the exact way that the draft was. Bill, you go first on this one.
All right. I think we talked about the highlight of any given Sunday last week. Stephen Willie Beeman's great character. Lawrence Taylor, obviously, kind of gave you like a real in-depth look of kind of how football was back then. Pretty much do anything in the world to stay on the field. But you're comparing it again to the 1 seed, could possibly be the number 1 overall seed in this entire thing. Herman Boone, Denzel Washington, another masterful performance. It's just not close. It's Remember the Titans.
I like it. Ed?
I'm going to second that. That's it.
Okay, I'm gonna third it so Control can't screw it up for me. I remember the Titans, and I think we'll be talking about them again next week. So I will leave that there. Control, who would your pick been in?
For argument's sake, I'll go Remember the Titans. Remember the Titans is the better movie, but I love Any Given Sunday.
So do I. It's not better. It's not better to Remember Titans.
I didn't say it was.
I don't think there's any movie left that I don't like or love. There's just some that are better than others. Yeah.
This is a tough one. So Ed, you get to go first here. Bill, you get to go last.
Fuck.
I held it like an egg. Well, he scrambled the son of a bitch. Look at that. He hit the goddamn bull. He wins a steak. Bull Durham.
Oh, man.
Bull Durham.
One on the board.
I'll split it up right away. I'm going Friday Night Lights here. Permian Panthers. I think that it's such a great movie. You want to win? Put Booby in.
I don't hate you.
Let me spin, Coach. Let me spin.
I don't hate you.
I'm going Friday Night Lights.
So I'll go. Obviously, I'm going third here. Caveat here: I have finally seen Bull Durham. Finally,
yes.
But doesn't get my vote. I'm going with Gene. I got Friday Night Lights in this one.
So is it going to a Facebook vote, or do we have a winner?
I hate that I drew fourth on this.
Okay, draw fourth on the other one.
Just like right off the bat.
You look so uncomfortable.
I do. I'm horribly uncomfortable. I have an undying love for Friday Night Lights. I talked about it last week. I read the book before the movie even came out. I kind of grew up in that mindset, and from where I'm from with CB West and winning the state titles. That whole just like college, like high school football runs the town type thing. Freaking Bull Durham though, man. Oh my God, I hate this.
Especially when you referred to yourself as Crash Davis last week.
I know.
Wow.
It's just so good. It just literally embodies everything about minor league baseball.
You want to win? Put Booby in.
Booby got hurt, bro.
Let me spin, Coach.
We're going to Facebook. I'm going Bull Durham.
Oh, we got it.
Breathing through his eyelids.
So just put his 2-2. 2-2 if you can on the scores.
Bill's
I don't
breathing
know
through
what
his
will happen,
eyelids.
but we're gonna have that winner for next week. See if it lets you submit. That's because Friday Night Lights the tiebreaker.
Wow.
But we'll change it next week if it's wrong.
I wonder why I got the tiebreaker.
I don't know.
I think
maybe it's the
blood
higher
pressure.
seed. No, it wasn't the higher seed.
I think my blood pressure's up.
Okay, so we got Rudy versus A League of Their Own.
So I'm not fourth on this one, right?
No, I'm first though.
Right.
Fourth one is Ed over here.
Oh God.
Guys, listen. Something about Rudy, man. It's just one of those movies that makes you like chills up your spine. You're 5'0" nothing, 100 nothing, and hung around with the best football program in the nation for 4 years. And that when you walk out that door, you're gonna have a degree from the University of Notre Dame. You ain't have to prove nothing to nobody. I'm going Rudy here. Listen, I love League of Their Own. I'm going Rudy. It's my pick.
All right, I guess I'll take the second vote here. I'm also going Rudy. Rudy is, it's the better movie. Gene, you say the quote every week. It's one of the best parts of the movie. Obviously, my love for college football runs deep, and Rudy just embodies even more of that. So I'm going Rudy here.
It's going to be an indicator where Shalley's going to go in next week's. I love it.
I love Rudy. I've talked about it. My hatred for Notre Dame and everything else. The League of Their Own, to me, overall, I know how you have an undying love for Denzel, as I do. I also have that love for Tom Hanks. I think he's unbelievably incredible in this movie.
There's no crying in baseball.
I'll take your Notre Dame speech and I'll raise you that whole scene in A League of Their Own. I'm going A League of Their Own.
Is
Fuck
it going to
Notre
the
Dame.
Facebook vote?
Fuck Notre Dame. Fuck Rudy. He was all sides.
Is it going to the Facebook vote, or are we have a winner this weekend?
I think when I think back to my adolescence when I seen Rudy for the first time, it's probably the first movie I ever cried watching. It really did because at the end of the day, that's kind of like one of those statement movies that kind of defined your adolescence. If you see it at the time of when all of us pretty much grew up.
Not Cottrell.
Right?
Cottrell was like 4 when that came out.
He was a puppy.
Control was a thought.
I wasn't born. Thank you very much.
He was a thought.
But I think it comes down to when I watched both movies and who I watched it with, which is why I'm going to pick A League of Their Own. I watched it with my grandmother, and she said that she remembers when those ladies were playing baseball, and it was starting to find its way into the newspapers, and she remembers that it kind of brought the spirit of the country up at a time when it needed it.
Save baseball.
And it saved baseball, and she remembers that that was very influential to her life.
So we officially have 2 Facebook votes.
And End of A League of Their Own is a little teary-eyed, too.
Yeah.
So when they're in the Hall of Fame, you find out Jimmy Dugan's dead, hurt.
Okay, so Major League versus Field of Dreams.
Christ.
Fuck.
Wait, so who went first last time?
Is this back?
Oh,
to
it's
me?
Cottrell. It's Cottrell.
Oh, Cottrell.
Cottrell goes first here. I go last.
This is an easy one.
Oh,
You
wait,
know
no,
where
it's an
I'm
easy one
going.
for you.
I'm going to throw up.
You know where I'm going. Give me Major
we
League
know.
all day long. All day long.
This is easy for me as well. I've talked about Field of Dreams for obvious reasons for me. I love freaking Major League, so this is not a slight. I could say I've probably actually seen Major League more times than I've seen Field of Dreams. But personally, I think the originality of it, James Earl Jones, again, you want to talk about a speech when he comes off the bleachers before he goes away with Shoeless Joe, and then the course at the very end with the catch. Every time for me, I'm going Field of Dreams.
I guess it's up to me.
No, you're the third. I got the fourth.
Oh, my God. I tried to basically get my wife to understand why I needed to watch last year's baseball game. So we watched the movie, and at the end of the day, that movie still kind of resonates with me to this day. And I think it even more now that every single year, it's kind of like the outdoor hockey game, right? It's now part of culture. They have a baseball game in a cornfield in Iowa. It's Field of Dreams for me.
Cottrell, I'm sorry to disappoint you. This is Field of Dreams for me, and it's not as close as it seems. I love Major League, very good movie. Field of Dreams is just like, and you're comparing 2 baseball movies. It's not like I'm comparing baseball to hockey or baseball to football. I've watched both these movies, and I can tell you which one's better, and it's Field of Dreams. That's the left. We have 2 Facebook votes already, and we're going to the right side now.
Kevin Costner even asked when he walked out of a cornfield this year when they had the game, is this heaven?
Yep.
And by the way, the game was amazing.
It was.
That was one of the better games.
A
lot of home runs in those cornfield.
Tim Anderson walk-off.
All right, so we're back to the top. Jally, you're first on this one.
All right. Good Lord. I don't think enough people have seen Cinderella Man. I'm going to start with that. It's a great freaking movie. It really is. The real life battles, the whole story of that movie is great. It's a great message, as is Miracle. Miracle growing up, I mean, that happened in 80 the year I was born. It is kind of like one of the first big things you learn about as a kid in sports. It's still considered the greatest upset ever. A lot of people weren't alive back then. I really wasn't either. Turn it to modern day kind of politics where we're at right now. Our relationship with Russia and everything else was worse back then than it is now. That was a monumental, countrywide, inspirational type thing. I think Kurt Russell captured Herb Brooks perfectly. The practice scenes, keep skating and kept asking his kids, "Who do you play for? Who do you play for?" Until they finally understood. I'm going Miracle.
Ed?
Nobody gave those college kids a chance in hell. Sentimental, emotional for me. The name of the movie. Nobody, every doctor in the world told my wife and I we couldn't have kids. It was actually medically impossible. And I have a daughter, and her name is Mira, short for Miracle. It's
Yes,
Miracle
sir.
for me.
Do you know who else no one gave a chance to?
Have fun voting against that now.
James J. Braddock.
Oh God!
No one gave him a chance versus Max Baer. I'm going Cinderella Man, guys.
Wow.
I love Cinderella Man. I'm a huge fan of the movie. James J. Braddock. That you talking about a guy that wasn't eating for days to make sure his kids ate. The true definition of what a husband, what a father, and what a patriot is. James J. Braddock for me. Cinderella Man.
Ooh, my
Gene, I'm so surprised that we are once again on the same page here. This is going to the Facebook vote. Give me Cinderella Man as well.
I think we're gonna lose the Facebook vote, and that's fine for me.
I do too. But
I'm telling you, if you didn't watch Cinderella Man, you have to watch it. It's an amazing,
I've
amazing
been on that
movie.
boat with you all the time, and that's why I said what I said at the beginning. I think too many people. I'm not trying to sway your vote either way, but if you're going to vote on it, and I know we will do well with this, with the following we have on it, before you vote on this matchup, just watch Cinderella Man.
It's an excellent movie, and it's an excellent movie, and I think it embodies the time, the time in which that era of boxing occurred.
Ed, you get to start us on this one. Raging Bull versus.
Am I last on this?
Oh
my
yes.
God, I am.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Once upon a time, I used to be a poker player. I don't know how this made.
I love the start of this story. I love the start of this story.
And at the end of the day, I could quote this movie. This movie was actually on the other night. I watch the movie whenever it comes on.
Same.
But I don't know that this is a sports movie.
It's a fair point.
We're here now.
But Raging Bull is absolutely. I am a diehard boxing fan, and that movie is absolutely Jake LaMotta.
Me and Gene already talked about poker.
Raging Bull for me. Raging Bull for me.
And I'm telling you, listen, I said the same thing to Shally. I said, are we putting Rounders on here? Because I don't know if it's a sports movie. But if you put it on here, this is my favorite movie ever. And in my club, we splash the pot whenever the fuck I please. Rounders.
Here's the thing. This is what it boiled down to. I'm not making my pick. I'm just saying. It was a movie I thought of. I love the movie. I've seen it 100 times.
Great movie.
When I started compiling this list to put it together to go over it with the boys, every single list I looked on, it was on there. So I was like, if it was good enough for Rolling Stone, like all these respected publications, I was like, we're going with it. So we put it on there.
I gotta tell you, paid this man his money. He beats me fair and square. Come on, guys, it's Rounders. Cottrell, back me up.
Once again, Gene, we are on the same page yet again. I am rolling with Rounders. I got my icingless Oreos right here, my tail. As soon as you guys figure it out, throwing up against the wall, I'm gonna take my money. If it happens, so be it. But I'm gonna take my money and I'm gonna be a winner.
3 stacks of high society.
Lays down a monster. Shally, this is easy. It's not easy, but
It's not.
I know.
It's really not.
So
check. He trapped me.
alligator
Oh,
blood.
just check.
So, Raging Bull. I mean, this is kind of the movie that made Robert De Niro. Very kind of dark look at that whole character, man. Smacking his wife around, just the violence outside the ring. What a great boxer he was. All the torment he went through. It's a crazy look at a life. Then you have Rounders, who is again John Malkovich is KGB. Just steals the movie. One of Matt Damon's earlier movies as well.
Edward Norton, the most lovable loser.
Yeah,
Not lovable in that movie.
Plays a scumbag real well.
Real well.
Don't know if it's the better movie, but it's the movie that's going to move on.
Let's
Rounders.
go. It is the better movie. Rounders. Moving on. All right, let's go. All right, we got an easy one. We got a sweep. Sorry. Who's first? Me? White man can't jump. It's an easy one. And if I need to argue at the end, if I get a vote on the other side, I will argue. But I don't need to argue. It's white man can't jump, and it's a landslide. Love Jerry Maguire. Show me the money. Great. White man can't jump's the winner. Cottrell?
I wanted to go. You know what? This might be an easy one for most people. But I can't let Jerry get swept. They got to at least get a game. Give me Jerry Maguire. Show me the money.
The problem with that is if somebody else votes for Jerry Maguire, it goes to a Facebook vote. Like, it's not, you don't have to worry about it getting swept. Pick the better movie. Damn it, Cottrell. I will never go to Akron ever again if you go.
They stole one, man. I love Jerry Maguire.
Oh, come on, guys. Shall we?
Oh, no. So, I don't agree with Gene. I don't think this is like a blowout.
92-58.
No, I don't agree with that at all. I think you could argue Cuba had a better performance than anybody in either one of these movies.
Woody Harrelson? Are you kidding me?
Who won an Oscar?
Oh, God, you're driving me nuts.
Cuba.
I got ink all over my hands.
Bill's turning red.
Show me the money, Bill.
Don't adjust your TVs. Bill is turning red.
This is unbelievable.
I'm going Jerry Maguire.
This is unbelievable.
Let's go, Bill. Let's go.
How is this real?
Wow.
I'm walking out.
Wow.
I'm done. I'm not doing the rest of the show.
You're not going to walk out. You want to know why you're not going to walk out? Because I can hear Jimmy. I can hear Jimmy. I got to go white man can't jump.
Facebook we go.
I don't know how to see even a Facebook vote.
I can hear Jimmy.
This is
the tough one. And you saved the haymaker for last. Wait, who's fourth on this one? I'm first, right?
You just went first, Gene.
No, yeah, I'm fourth on this one.
I feel like I'm getting
this is bullshit.
Are you really fourth?
Yes.
I feel like it's an ulcer.
So who's first?
Cottrell. It's Cottrell, you, Ed, me.
Oh my God. I have an ulcer.
I can't believe you guys just let white man can't. I don't care. Whatever Cottrell votes for, I'm voting the other side. I cannot believe that went to a Facebook vote. Oh my God.
This is the one I was dreading all night.
Well, if Major League went to a Facebook vote, maybe we wouldn't be here, G.
Wow.
Field of Dreams is a better movie.
That's a tough sell, Cottrell. Even though I will tell you, I got 3 angry texts about when we eliminated Major League, but Field of Dreams is just a better movie.
I'm not ready to pick this one, man. I'm glad I'm not fourth, but I damn sure didn't want to be first.
I don't want to be fourth. I promise you that.
I got to go with The Sandlot. The Sandlot was more sentimental to me, more important than my childhood. Absolutely loved the movie. Love Moneyball too, of course, but Sandlot just has a little bit more to get me over the edge.
It's going to be a little bit of recency bias for me. I told the story last week about Moneyball, how I always wanted to see it when it came out in the theaters, and I just never got to go see it. And then I finally saw it on cable one night, and I think I watched it 3 times in like 5 days. I've seen Sandlot 100 times. And every single damn time I watch it, I still get the same feeling and the same nostalgia. And like all the good memories of growing up with your friends and playing ball and just everything about being a 12-year-old. I'm going Sandlot.
It's 2-0 Sandlot.
And it hurts my soul.
I might not even have a vote here.
You might not.
Because I know this guy. And I feel like I know where he's going.
He's old school.
You guys are right.
I don't have a vote.
You guys are right. It's Sandlot for me.
But we couldn't let white man can't jump sweep, right? Come on.
Everybody knew
where you
Benny
going,
the Jet
Gene?
wrote.
I mean, I was going to go Sandlot, but like the point of this being is Sandlot wins 4 over Moneyball, which is it's a better movie probably than both of them. And White Man Can't Jump doesn't sweep Jerry Maguire? Come on.
Just to get it on
I'm
record.
so annoyed right now.
Just to get it on record. I saved White Man Can't Jump because I can hear Jimmy.
We didn't send it home. It's just going to a vote.
I'm blown away with
that vote better be a blowout, or I'm not coming on the show next week.
Everybody vote for Jerry Maguire.
Wow.
That's unreal. Sandlot wins 4 over Moneyball. Moneyball is amazing. I don't like how it got swept. I should have gave it a vote just to throw a vote there. Sandlot narrowly won. It was like 91-90. It was like Villanova over North Carolina in national championship. That's what it was. How about White Man Can't Jump tying Jerry Maguire? This is insane.
That was bad.
No, this is like the Net Celtics series. Every game's close, but it's just 4-0.
Yeah. All right. Well, movie bracket. We have what? How many do we have? Scroll up a little bit. One.
We have 2 more left, I
The
think.
Elite
No,
Eight.
we're done. We're done. Movie bracket's done.
The
Yeah.
DA is set.
1. No, it's not set. We have 3 or 4
We have 3.
ties.
I think we have 3.
Rounders isn't a tie. Go up. That's a tie. Cinderella Man. That's 2. And there's 2 on their side. There's 4 ties. 4 Facebook votes. For that, Kittrell, you're posting them all. I cannot believe you. Well, I can't let it get swept. Get the hell out of here. And then Bill adds on to that bullshit. Let's go to the NBA.
All right. It's all right. You still got Rounders, Gene.
Bro, Rounders versus White Man Can't Jump would be my ideal matchup. Kidding. I don't know.
Well, hopefully you
I
don't
actually
get it.
don't know. I don't think I'm getting that. I think Sandlot and whatever, but we'll get into that in a minute. But NBA playoffs. Sixers, we'll start with them. They're up 3-2. They play at Toronto tomorrow night, game 6. You guys tell me, man. Like, is this team going to blow a 3-0 lead?
If they don't win Thursday, they lose the series.
I mean, that's that. Give me an answer.
That is an answer. How is that not an answer if they be coming back home?
Are
for
they winning game
7?
6?
I don't know. I think it's. I think it's. Dude, it wasn't. I'll tell you this. I picked the Sixers in 7 originally, and you both said I was crazy. So here we are. We're going through one of those lulls, dude. JoJo can only do so much, and he didn't play well, and now you have his thumb issue. James Harden is cooked, dude. He's not. He's just not James Harden. You're not going to have Tease. You're asking an awful lot out of Maxey and Toby then, who have both been great the entire series. They're not going to have Van Fleet again. I don't know. They look like a different team. You have Doc Rivers' penchant for being the biggest choke artist in the history of the NBA as a coach. It's all starting to add up the wrong direction for the Sixers.
Did you hear his interview today?
Yeah, how did the audacity to bring it up? Like,
Yeah.
for real? You're statistically the worst 3-0 or 3-1 coach in the history of the NBA.
No one talks about the team I had in Orlando.
Yeah,
Bro, I've
Who gives a
never
shit,
heard
dude?
someone that was less humble in my life be a leader of men.
Can't wait till he gets fired.
Think about that.
He was very insecure today.
Oh, my
Like
insecure is an understatement.
You could
of the
tell
year.
he was sweating.
You want to know why? Because he was
question.
walking in that interview and he knew it was coming. And
The seat's hot.
it should be. He stings. He should have been fired last year.
I would have put seat warmers on the damn seat he sat down on. Just let him know, remind him how hot the seat is. Control, who wins the series?
I think the Sixers ultimately win the series. I actually disagree with Bill. I think they lose game 6, but I think they come home. Wells Fargo is going to be rocking, and I think they gut out a win at home. The one thing that I did want to mention though was that we talked a lot before about Tyrese Maxey being their 3rd option. You know, me saying that he was their 4th option. The reality of the situation is Tyrese Maxey is becoming the second option on this 76ers team. James Harden is regressing fast, the second fastest that we've ever seen from a superstar outside of Russell Westbrook. And I don't know if it's just him regressing. I don't know if it's him just not wanting to play basketball. I don't know if he's just out of shape, but he's not the player that he was just 2 seasons ago. But Tyrese Maxey is really stepping up, and I think Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid are going to get it done once they get back to Philadelphia. So I do think the Sixers blow game 6, but I ultimately think they win game 7 at home and move on, face the Miami Heat.
Ed?
I actually am going to go very, very, very anticlimactic. I think they win Game 6. I think there's a lot of pressure on Toronto right now to win this game, and the bucket gets pretty small when you got pressure on you. I think if it's an ugly game early, I think the Sixers could basically get a little bit of a cushion, get their inside-outside game going. I think they got to get to the free throw line. I think they're going to change their game plan from the last 2 games. I think they win this next game. I don't think it goes game 7.
I got news for you. The later the series goes, the less times people go to the free throw line. The officials swallow whistles a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, though, I agree with you. I think the Sixers win Game 6. The one thing I think I disagree with, I agree with Shally and I disagree with Cottrell, is if the Sixers get forced to a Game 7 and all that pressure is sitting on them after last year with Doc Rivers and all that, and coming back to Philadelphia and being the first team to blow a 3-0 lead and all that, I'm not kidding with you. Like, I think the Sixers lose Game 7 if they don't win Game 6. I have the Sixers tomorrow night. So if they lose this game, though, burn it down. Burn it down. I'm done with it.
Burn all of it.
Harden has lost that proverbial first step. He's become a jump shooter now. He just
not that good of a one either.
No, he can't. Well, it's a lot easier to guard him and be in his face too if you know he's not going to blow by you.
Yeah,
and he can't.
All right, so want to talk about sweep? I want to talk about sweep.
Go for it.
Boston swept the Brooklyn Nets. Now, my question would be this: two part. One would be, can we stop comparing Kevin Durant to LeBron James's career now after getting swept in the first round?
Does anybody really do that?
They do it a ton.
I
And
mean,
then the second question is there anyone softer on the planet than Mr. Sharman, Ben Simmons? I think what he did in Game 3 was one of the most disgusting things he's ever done. You show up on that bench and you sit there in a friggin' Ronald McDonald outfit. What the hell was he doing? Wear team colors, blend in, and shut the hell up. You haven't played all year. You're trying to recoup $20 million. And you're sitting on in the middle of all black colors for Brooklyn Nets, wearing an outfit looking like you work at Wendy's.
Old fashioned.
Now we're mad about his not wearing team colors. Really? How many people wear team colors?
And guess what? He didn't show up to Game 4.
What are we doing?
And he didn't sit on the bench for Game 4.
That's
and
fine.
Rich Paul men went there.
If you want to critique that, that's fine. But
I'll critique everything about that bum.
Team colors, that's silly. That's silly.
I'll critique everything about that bum.
I want to know who came up with the game plan for the Nets that had Kevin Durant shooting the ball 31 times.
That was only Game 4.
30,
he was passive in the Game 3.
31 times.
My thing is, I'm 100% okay with that. It's the last game of the series. He's their best player. I want the ball in his hands as much as possible. And for him, that's being aggressive. So he wasn't shying away from it. He wanted to try and score as much as he could. He hasn't played great all series, but he wanted to go out on his sword. So I can respect that from a superstar.
Totally understand. I agree to it. I agree to a point. But after about the 15th, 16th shot, he was shooting over double teams, a lot of contested shots, and people at that point stopped rebounding. They had no offensive rebounds. It was one and done up and down the court. And I think that really, really affected the rest of the game. They lost by 4 points.
Brooklyn's a hilarious tragedy.
It really is. And I like controversy in the NBA.
It is. I mean, again, I think you started the year, with the Kyrie stuff, then you went to the Harden stuff, and then you went to the Ben stuff, and then mixed in there, you had KD being hurt for 2 months. It was a circus, man. I mean, it is what it is. All indications are Kyrie staying. I guess we'll see if Ben plays next year. And we'll go from there. But I mean, Boston's very good. I mean, Tatum is definitely taking that step this year to, he's a bona fide superstar. He's a top 10 player in the league. They're a good team. They play good defense, and they pass the ball and share the ball well. Robert Williams is a great complementary piece for them in the middle. just a bad matchup for Brooklyn. And again, I mean, KD didn't play well. I mean, I think it's a very valid point from Ed and Gene. I do agree with Cottrell. I mean, if I'm going to go down, I'm going down with KD. I'm not going down with, Patty Mills. But I think it'll be an interesting offseason for them. But I think Boston maybe was a little bit underrated, and I think they got tired of hearing, all the stuff in the media about, you didn't want to win that game. You didn't want to be matched up with Brooklyn. Like, you're gonna get out. You're gonna go out in the first round. Blah blah blah. And I think they took it personally. And I think they just took it to them. And 3 of the 4 games were very close. So I mean, it was a good series. It was fun to watch.
Another Philadelphia draft tragedy. Markelle Fultz over Jason Tatum.
Guys, making it very clear.
You hate Ben, we know.
No. Shout out to Dante for helping with the editing. Go on TikTok, Wire to Wire Sports Podcast, and watch the video. It is got 60,000 views right now.
Please send that to me.
I will, I promise. But it's hilarious, and it goes over the Eminem final battle scene with the Celtics and the Nets. Well, let's move on. I have no more yelling for Ben Simmons left.
So you got Minnesota-Memphis, which has turned out to be a crazy good series.
Bro, Ja Morant's
I said
dunk.
it was 7.
I said 7
Ja
as well.
Morant's dunk was so incredible. Yo, listen, last night was a good night to be a Gene fan. Last night was a Ja Morant CP3 night. That's what it was. That was amazing. Ja Morant, Memphis. They win game 6. They're going to go 7.
I will give Gene his flowers. He's been a huge Ja guy since the beginning. CB3 looked good. That Minnesota, I don't know what it is, man. It's one of those matchups where Memphis just struggles with them for as much as they dominate other teams this year. That's why I picked it to go 7, and I think it will go 7. I'll tell you this, man. Anthony Edwards is coming to his own, though. I mean, he's drained that 3 in the corner. I mean, that kid's a killer. He's gonna be a problem for a long time. And I every time I watch Minnesota play, I hate Cat more and more. That dude is the epitome of soft, and he cries about everything. I just don't understand you can be 7'2" and cry about everything. I just don't understand it. But I hope Memphis wins. I think they will. I don't think Minnesota can beat them 2 games in a row. But
the one thing in that series that's kind of been somewhat of a surprise to me is that the Timberwolves have found ways to be up late in the game, and they just blow it. They were up 13 early in the fourth quarter yesterday, and they end up blowing a 13-point lead. That's absolutely inexcusable, and I don't know how the Timberwolves let that happen. You pick at Ja Morant while you're up. Pat Bev's calling him too little, and then Ja Morant goes on to score Memphis's last 13 points of the game, including the game winner. So Minnesota is just they're a team just not full of adults yet. And, that's okay that they have a younger team, but that inexperience is really starting to show because in reality, this series could be over right now. We could be talking about Minnesota being in the second round, but instead they fall short once the moment gets big and the games get late. So you mentioned Anthony Edwards coming into his own. I 100% agree with that. Anthony Edwards has been phenomenal. That shot in the corner was very clutch, and clearly, he's here for the moment. Problem is you have Cat who's inconsistent. One game he'll put up 33-15. Next game he'll have 19 and 12 and just be non-existent on the offensive end. D'Angelo Russell's another guy who's vastly inconsistent. He can give you 25 points, but this another guy who can give you 12, and you're missing some offense from him. So I do think this series goes 12. Desmond Bane has been the biggest X factor of the series. You could argue he's been Memphis's best player.
Slow down.
So far in the series, but what do you mean slow down? Ja Morant's been incredible, absolutely, but he has not been shooting the ball well at all this series. He had a great spurt last game. Obviously, he's their best player, but so far in this series, Desmond Bane has been their best player. He's been their most consistent player.
No, I think you brought up a lot of good points. I mean, I was saying it last night, like before they went on that run. I was like, they're in trouble. Like they didn't look good, and then 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, they just flipped a switch. And the Minnesota still got back up by 1 with like 2 to go, and then other than the tying shot at the end, it was all Memphis. It's just weird, man. You have more veteran players on Minnesota, and to Cottrell's point, Memphis plays like the more mature team.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with those guys have all been together now for 3 years. Between Bain, Brooks, they all, Jalen Jackson, they all came up together. I think they have a real strong camaraderie with each other. I think it shows. They don't get flustered, late in the game. I think it's gonna be interesting.
Quick thought: who wins? Does Phoenix win in 6 or 7?
I'll go 6. I think they go to New Orleans to play a good game and take care of business.
Ed?
7.
Cottrell?
I think they ended at 6.
Same.
I think Devin Booker needs to get healthy though.
Yeah, no, I think that 3 weeks is a lot.
That's why I have it at 7.
They're talking about Devin Booker being able to come back potentially for a game 7. I think if it goes 7, I think you roll the dice and you sit them.
I agree with you.
We talked about that last week because if you pull him out game 7 and even win and he re-aggravates it or something, then you don't have him for Dallas, and then I think you're in trouble.
Okay, and Dallas wins tonight, right? Or tomorrow?
Yeah, because even if Mitchell plays, he's not 100%. So they're Utah's dead in the water in my opinion.
Okay, so let's get into You Gotta Be Kidding
They're
Me.
blowing it up.
So Ed, do you want to go first?
I will defer because
Okay.
I have to look up my my recent. You got to be kidding me.
Okay, Cottrell, start us off.
Alrighty. I'll start off with one close to my heart here. My You Gotta Be Kidding Me this week is the New York Yankees fans. So late last week there was a game going on. Yankees had a walk off. They won the game, and the Yankees fans decided to throw things at the Guardians outfielders, Miles Straw, Oscar Mercado, and those guys out there. Miles Straw actually jumped up and got into the stands, and he was talking to those guys like, hey, like if you got a problem, like, address me to my face. And they continued to throw stuff on the field. They were hitting players, they were hitting the umps out there. Stanton, Judge, they came out there, told everyone to stop, but it's just another classless display by the worst fan base in all of sports. So for that this week, New York Yankees fans.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
Shally.
I'm going, to Cottrell's little motto there. I'm going to say stay close to home as well. I'm going with Angel Hernandez's performance when he was behind the plate against the Phillies the other night. I'm sure everybody's seen the viral clip by now. Kyle Schwarber freaking out, and it's one of the best freakouts ever because it wasn't even like you're so bad you screwed me. You literally had teams from the guys from the Brewers dugout kind of like on the top step, like almost like applauding him of somebody finally just saying something to him because he was that bad both ways all night long. Listen, there's this old saying in baseball, if you're going to be bad, at least be consistently bad. So, like, hitters know where the freaking zone is. His floats. He's so bad. He's unfireable because he has a class action lawsuit, saying he's been discriminated against by Major League Baseball and not getting, the playoff series that he should or a World Series like he should. And you want to know why he doesn't? Because he's constantly one of the lowest rated umpires every single freaking season. He only got 85% of the strike calls correct in that Phillies game that he ejected Schwarber. And I know most people would think that's probably a pretty good number for a ball that's coming in 90 miles an hour and you're judging it within inches most of the time if it's a strike or not. Major league average on any given night for any umpire is 93.2%. So he was 8% below an average night. He's terrible. I hate that Major League Baseball can't get rid of him. He is universally looked upon as the worst umpire in Major League Baseball. Just another situation that we just can't get rid of in the game that we need to. So for this week, for me, it's Angel Hernandez.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
Ed, do you have one?
Oh, I'm ready now.
Yeah.
I mentioned it in the pre-production meeting. So I'm a big memorabilia guy. I know you guys are too. And a Honus Wagner baseball card that's missing 3 sides, has a crease down the middle of it, has a coffee stain on it, sold for $1.5 million. I don't need to say anything else.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
I love it. I could have went with Ben. I went with Ben like 5 times. I was gonna go with Ben for his circus outfit.
Who's been on more? Is it Ben or is it Manfred at this point?
Yeah, it's close.
It's close, and Aaron Rodgers is right behind both of them.
But I'm not gonna go with Ben. And I'm gonna go with same series though. So, what's Spike Lee known for outside of making films? In basketball world, what is Spike Lee known for?
Knicks fan.
New York Knicks fan.
Yep, New York Knicks fan.
And heckling the opposing team.
Correct. New York Knicks haven't been good for a while. Spike Lee is, I don't know where the hell this came from, is now a Brooklyn Nets fan. He is at Brooklyn Nets games in Brooklyn Nets gear, cheering and heckling teams like no other, just like he always does for the Knicks. I don't know if you understand how much a rivalry in inner city New York is, but like think of it like Yankees and Mets fans. The Mets fans hate the Yankees more than they hate the Phillies. That's any Mets fan you talk to.
I wouldn't even go so far as to say it's Yankees Dodgers from 60 years ago, like contempt.
Yeah, no, 100%. The New Jersey Nets moved to Brooklyn. They're the New Jersey Nets. They have a fan base from North New Jersey. That's what they are. Your rival in the same division, that'd be like me going to a Washington Commanders game and being like, yeah, I'm a Commanders fan now. They're better. Spike Lee was at Brooklyn Nets games cheering on the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn Nets all attire. Spike, you got to be better than that. You want to be a super fan, you can only be for one team. You can't pick multiple teams. You can't be Drake and be a front runner. Drake at least chose the Raptors at this point. I mean, he's got 5 or 6 college teams, but other than that, he's got the Raptors. So for this week, it's Spike Lee.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
Milwaukee did close out Chicago, so that series is over.
Shocker.
Gene, can you change your team?
No. You have to suffer through it, the goods and the bads. I'll give you, so for instance, there's a couple reasons. I have bylaws to my rules, right?
Bylaws.
Correct. Like Penn State fans, they could change after the Paterno. They're allowed to after that. The Sandusky Paterno thing, you're allowed. I'm going to go to a different college.
After they get their ass kicked by the real schools in the Big Ten.
If the Browns move. No, I'm just saying because Sandusky. I'm a serious thing. When the Browns move to Baltimore and then they recreate the Browns, what about those Browns fans that followed that team the whole way? Now they're rivals. So, yeah, you can change your team from the Browns to the Ravens. There's bylaws to this shit. But this is nothing changed. They just moved 30 miles. You can't change your team. And if you want to change as soon as they move to Brooklyn, that's fine. Change as soon as they move to Brooklyn. Don't wait until they're good and the Knicks still stink every week.
I got to see these bylaws.
I'm gonna write them out.
I got to see the bylaws.
Make sure you guys vote this week. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. We need 155 more followers on TikTok so we can go live from there each week. Please help us with that. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Ed, thanks for sitting in. This was any final comments for anybody?
I'm excited. We got Derby week next week. That'll be fun.
The draft's tomorrow night.
Yeah, but that's tomorrow night. I'm talking about for next week's show.
I got a quick tidbit on the draft. 3 guys who I absolutely want to look out for. Whether it probably won't be tomorrow, probably be Friday. But Christian Watson, receiver from North Dakota State. My boy Carson Strong, quarterback from Nevada. And I also really like Quan Brisker, safety from Penn State. I think he's going to be a really good into the day 1, early day 2 guy.
Does Howie make both picks tomorrow?
Yes.
I agree.
I will say one final thing. If you're one to watch the draft with someone, I'll be on ECG. I got to talk to final things out. I think Shally will be on for a couple hours. No? Is that a...
I mean, I was, and then Dante just said I'm others. I don't even get recognized anymore, so I don't know. Maybe not.
Dante, did you hear that? Shally welcome. His uncle Shally welcome. He wants to know. He feels hurt that he put a Facebook post out. Ask if
my face ain't on it. It's you and his 3 guys, and then I'm supposed to know that I'm others. I just started or some shit.
But tune in tomorrow night. We'll be doing a watch party for the draft. You can get our live reactions to some of the picks. We did it last year. It was a lot of fun.
Go live, do my own shit.
If the Eagles draft Desmond Ritter, can I change teams?
Yes. Is
that part of the bylaws?
That's in the bylaws.
It's the bylaw.
That's in the bylaws.
All right, so that's it. Show 81. We got our pom-poms out. We got the popcorn ready. T.O. For that this week, Wire to Wire, we are signing out.